At Mobile World Congress this year, we saw a lot of information about foldables, got some new pictures, seeing what's out there, and the future is looking good and bright for the foldable market. They're starting to get very thin and the designs are very lovely. But as you all know, there is one major player that has yet to enter that market, and yes, we're talking about none other than Apple. Apple is yet to drop any foldables, but we do know that they are planning to drop a foldable probably in 2026. Now, we don't have much information, but this week we are getting some news and some information about some of the specs as well as the pricing about that, and that may shock you. So in this video, I'm going to go over that information, give you the price and a little bit about the specs and design of the Apple iPhone Fold phone that is expected to come next year. But before we dive deep into all that information, if you're new to this channel and enjoy staying up to date with the latest tech news, please do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and hit that like button if you enjoy this type of content. All right, let's dive into this information. All right, here, Apple's iPhone Fold could boast a thin, pocketable body, but pack a hefty price. This is an article out of AndroidAuthority.com. So let's get into all this information right here. So we've heard the news about the iPhone phone that is coming up pretty much. Some of the specs are very tentative at this point, but we are going to talk about the specs as well as the price. So let's give you some of that. So this is some information coming from industry analyst Ming-Chi Kuo, who says that the iPhone Fold could cost between $2,000 and $2,500 when it arrives next year. Yes, folks, you hear that right. $2,000 to $2,500. Now, at that price point, that is above any other of the foldables out there in the market. That's what, $300 probably, well, $200 above what Google is offering and $100 above what Samsung is offering at this point. But and then some of the others out there. So you should expect that from Apple. Apple does have that Apple tax on there. As you know, their products are always priced at a premium. So if you're an Apple person out there looking to jump into that photo market, you are going to be expected to pay at least $100 to $200 more than what is out there on the market. Now, will it be worth it? That remains to be seen, but we all know that people who tend to be in that Apple ecosystem will drop down the price for an Apple product. So let's continue with this, the iPhone foldable rumor design and specs. So let's jump into this. Kuo notes that the phone could measure between 9 and 9.5 millimeters thick. That's when folded, and 4.5 to 4.8 millimeters when unfolded. Now, according to these specs right here, I'm going to get into that a little bit better down in the page in a second. Those specs are top notch. Now, we'll see how they compare to some of the others out on the market, but let's continue real quick. The device's hinge, arguably the most critical cog in the foldable design, could be made of steel and titanium alloy. While titanium is reserved for the body, the frame reportedly houses the same high-density battery cells as the ultra-thin iPhone 17. Now, obviously, the phone 17 is not out yet, but what he's saying here is that that's going to share the same components as the iPhone 17 again, which will be coming next year. As for the display size, we're looking at 7.8 inches, crease-free inner design. Now, how do we know that Apple was not going to jump into this market unless they figure out how to get that crease to the point that it was nothing? And we've seen the likes of other out there that have done a pretty good job of that. Oppo with their Find N5, pretty much creases. Samsung is still struggling with that, although they did show something at Mobile World Congress that was pretty creases. So, but it's getting better out there. The inner display will also be supported by a 5.5 inch external panel. This phone could also pack dual camera array paired with one front facing camera available in both folded and unfolded states. So right here, let's take a look at the specs. Now these are specs that are provided or prediction from Kuo, again, the analyst that's giving us this information. So we look here at the body thickness, again, as I said, 9 to 9.5 millimeters thick folded. Compared to the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6, it is smaller than that. It is also smaller than the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, but it's not, again, it's not as thin as the Oppo Find N5 or the Honor Magic V3. Those still hold the honor of the thinnest phones out on the market obviously that going to Honor. Now 4.5 to 4.8 millimeters unfolded, again, smaller than what Samsung and Google are offering, not as small or as thin as Oppo and Honor is offering. A screen size, so 7.8 inches when the screen is unfolded. Now that is slightly bigger than what Samsung is offering, but smaller than what Google's Pixel 9 Pro is holding, as well as the Oppo Find and the Honor as well. So it's right there in the middle range. And the external screen, the outer display of the phone, will be pretty much the smallest out of all of the phones out there in the market, pretty much the major ones, compared to Samsung, Oppo, and Honor. It's going to be smaller than that. So the external screen will be smaller. So that's something that's just to be aware of. And in terms of price, I've already talked about anywhere from $2,000 to $2,500. I'm assuming the $2,500 would be the higher variant with the higher available space in there, as opposed to what Samsung starts up at $1,899, Google Pixel 9 Pro $1,799, and Oppo Find N approximately $1,875, and the Honor V3, which starts at around $2,200 approximately as well. Again, they haven't released here, so we don't have exact pricing, but it looks like the Honor is a little bit more expensive than what I originally thought. So when is the phone coming out? Again, 2026 is what the expected time frame on that will be. Other than that, we don't know if it's going to be a spring, it's going to be a fall, no idea, but that remains to be seen. But rest assured, when that hits the market, everybody will be talking about it. You know, it's going to be the best thing since sliced bread. Because why? Because Apple did it. But I do expect Apple to bring in some of that Apple flair. It's going to figure out what that design is going to look like. I'm also want to figure out what the OS, how the OS is going to handle some of the foldable functions, as well as the again the crease as well, which they're expecting it to be creaseless. So those are the key points that I am actually looking forward to when this phone actually comes out. But that is everything I want to talk about. You guys, it is your turn. Let me know down in the comment section. What do you think about this? From the specs that you're hearing right now, are you on board with it? And if you are an iPhone person looking to jump into the foldable market 7 years later or 8 years later, albeit whatever, let me know what your thoughts are about the price point of this phone. Are you willing to drop down $2,000 to $2,500 for this? Or is that just too much for you? Or you're just going to stick with your Pro Max and your 17 Pro, 17 Pro Max? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Looking forward to conversing with you down in the section. Thank you once again for taking the time out to watch this video. Again, if you enjoy staying up to date with the latest tech news, then you've landed at the right spot. Do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and hit that like button if you enjoy this type of content. And if you want to stay up to date with the latest tech news, head over to sounds30.com, where I curate and aggregate tech news from around the web, covering Apple, Samsung, Google, Android, computing, and even more general tech news, all at the website sounds30.com. And for even more tech news in video form, check out one of these two videos right here. Until the next video, guys, stay nerdy.